Oh, 6:30 a.m. Adelaide. I'm wondering when jet lag actually begins to dissipate. Anyway, once more unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Now, it wasn't that long ago that we were actually in your vineyards, and I think that one thing that many folks don't realise is the McLaren Vale's proximity to the sea.
Absolutely. Our vineyards are only about 7 kilometres, 6 kilometres from the coast. We're between the Adelaide Hills and the Gulf St Vincent, which is what we're on at the moment. This is a warm-bodied water sea. We get cooling sea breezes in the summer. We get slightly warmer breezes in the early spring and late autumn. And it really assists the climate of our vineyards. It's a very important part of what McLaren Vale is, not just for the grapes and the wine, but also socially and how we live. When we're not picking grapes, we come out and try and catch a fish.
Now, what is it we're actually fishing for right now?
Anything we can catch, to be honest. No, look, we've had a go with the cockles and at catching some King George whiting. We haven't been out long. We caught a baby snapper, which is a nice sign to see the juvenile snapper, very healthy, which bodes well for the future when he grows up to be a fish in a little bit more this size rather than the size we caught. But,
that was a red snapper?
It was a red snapper. So King George whiting is the fish that we prize catching here, but we also catch other species like gar. We're in close to the cliffs, and we were going to have a go and see if we could catch a squid in here as well, some calamari, which we're rather partial to.
Would you mind telling me a little bit about the history of the McLaren Vale?
Okay, some of the first people to enter the region back in the 1850s, 60s, 70s, but really is a grape growing region. We go into the 1950s, there was a lot of Greek and Italian communities that moved here from Adelaide, obviously with then the English settlement, and that's when the region, McLaren Vale, really became established. Started growing grapes and had a lot of almonds. There was a lot of fruit, vegetables, produce, as you can imagine, with the Greek and Italian community. Through the 70s and 80s and 90s, grape growing became a very big part of the region, and regional produce was a part of it as well. Commercialisation was something that really struck McLaren Vale because of its growing conditions. The growers there was a lot of pressure put on by bigger companies to grow a lot of grapes that came out of this region, and the growers found it very profitable because they could grow big tonnes, they had access to a lot of water, and because the industry was so buoyant, right, we had people making a lot of money. That then attracted a lot of new players and not necessarily, well, more corporate people into the grape growing business. So grapes, a lot of grapes were planted, a lot of almonds were pulled out, and the grape growing business became very profitable. Now we have a very interesting time in our history where the grapes haven't become as profitable. A lot of the commercial farmers have moved away because grape growing isn't as profitable as it used to be. So now we have more of the families who have been growing grapes for 20 or 30 years, who have created their own brands, right, and now working hard to sell them into the marketplace. They're the people who are really the driving force in the region. We only have one major corporate player, treasury in the region, and the other corporate players have now moved into other regions. So there's a lot of the small family owned and operated viticulturists and winemakers who are now forming what I would say is the heart of the region.
McLaren Vale is very fortunate. We're right on the sea. we're like in a rain shadow. We've got the hills right just behind us here. If we have a wet year, we miss out on a fair bit of the rain. It falls on the hills. If we have a hot, dry year, we're near the sea, so we get the cooling sea breezes. So we're extremely reliable. We always make ripe grapes. We always harvest. It's never too hot and never too cold. We don't have frosts because being near the sea, you don't get frost.
You're saying it's never too hot?
No, well, the occasional day you might have hot, but actually, there was a little spill in 2008 that was maybe a little bit too hot for a while there.
And it's never too cold.
But never, no. It snowed in 1956.
That was the last time.
And it melted as soon as it hit the ground.
Okay.
And frosts occasionally happen in winter, but it doesn't matter. Well, the vines don't give a damn at that stage. So it's a beautiful place to grow grapes. We're in the hills here in McLaren Vale. There's the southern Mount Lofty Ranges right alongside of us, and the sea is about 4 miles this way, and then again half an hour's drive this way. And what happens during the afternoon, 3 o'clock we'll get the sea breezes, which are starting to happen now, through from here, which will start to cool it down. And then about 5, 6 o'clock we'll get these southern ocean winds come and drag all the cold air off of the high altitude hills here over us, and they'll fly up over these hills, and it'll start cooling down quite quickly. So a typical day in summer might be 25 to 30 degrees in the heat of the day, and then by night time we're down to 6 to 11 degrees, depending on which time it is. So beautiful cool nights, give great acidity and great fragrance.
Aside from its culture and its proximity to a capital city, geographically we are surrounded by ocean to one side, a mountain range on another side, and so we're sandwiched between cool climate effect on hot days from the ocean and the cooling effects on extremely hot days during the evening from the hills. Those hills are some of the oldest formations in a wine region in the world, actually. So we've got the luxury of ancient soils that are heavily leached with not a lot of nutritional content, so therefore growing grapes is perfect for making wine. The grapes struggle a bit, they don't love it, so therefore it's ideal, they're under stress.
From a grape growing point of view, we're just able to produce these grapes that are full of flavour and tannin and ripeness, and a lot of the perils associated with grape growing we're immune from as well, just due to our proximity to the coast. So it's a fantastic lifestyle and work region to live in.
The McLaren Vale make wines that are very bright, very fleshy, have fantastic acidity, right, but very, very easy drinking. So we don't have we have concentration, but we also have elegance.